What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Stocks to Watch. And we had like a choppy market today. Midcaps did correct. I think a bunch of midcaps started their profit booking journey. A lot of them were even up. I think railway stocks were on fire, IRFC, RVNL. So again, it was a very selective market where stocks were going up, but largely the broader markets were kind of flat. So with that being said, let's get started with our watch list for the day and let's see which stocks can start bouncing from tomorrow. If you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel and do drop in a like and a comment if you like the research that I'm providing to you. Now, let's get started with Nifty first. And if you look at Nifty, I think on a shorter time frame, I think Nifty is poised to go higher. I don't really see any signs of weakness in Nifty whatsoever. Even if I look at Bank Nifty, I think I am still bullish in Nifty and Bank Nifty. I don't really see a possibility of anything happening, over here. So I think Bank Nifty, if you look at it on the hourly chart, you are probably near an area of demand. So you'll have to probably see on what it does. But I think Nifty is pretty straightforward, and I think I'm going to be still be looking to go long in stocks. Now with the budget date announced, I think there will be bullishness in the run up to the budget. So I think it's all bulls right now. And with that being said, let's quickly get to individual stocks, which we feel can outperform the markets tomorrow. So the first one is Sadhana Nitrochem Limited. Now, this is another one like amines plasticizers. If you don't remember what happened to amines plasticizers, let me just show the chart to you. This is what happened to amines plasticizers, another specialty chemical name. So Sadhana Nitrochem is another one which could play out exactly like that. And I think we have got a bunch of other agrochemical, specialty chemical names which are poised to do well. Next one, we've got Khaitan Chemicals and Fertilizers. Now, I know fertilizer stocks have been on a run. We've seen RCF, we've seen Deepak Fertilizers, we've seen, every single fertilizer name. I think I'll just open that up to you for you and show you. So if I go to, fertilizers, just look at the action today, right? Look at RCF, look at NFL, look at FACT, look at Madras Fertilizers, look at Paradeep, look at Aries, look at Khaitan, GSFC, Zuari Agro, another one from the watch list. I think this is setting up pretty nicely. SPIC, another agrochemical, agrophosphate. This is also in our watch list. I think this is the one which is going to be probably the favorite of the lot. Mangalore Chemical Fertilizers. This is also setting up really well. I think I'll have to add this one to the watch list. I was screening, but I didn't really find it interesting at that point of time, but I just, realized that this is also great. So all in all, fertilizer in the chemical space, agrochemical, specialty chemical space is buzzing. So that was Khaitan Chemical for you, and a recap of the entire fertilizer space and the entire sector. So I think that was doing really well. Next up, we've got Asian Energy Services Limited. It's a small, literally a micro-cap stock. Liquidity will be an issue, but I think looks pretty decent from a basing perspective. Agrophosphates is the next name, very flat, wide base. I think has the potential to kind of squeeze tomorrow. We've got JBM Auto in our list. I think setting up beautifully. I think this is the time, if you've not been a part of the JBM rally, I think that's a good base breakout for you to be a part of it. So I think JBM Auto is great. Chambal Fertilizers is another stock that I will be keeping on my radar. I think Chambal is also from the fertilizer space, doing really well. Probably can start moving out from this area. Another very interesting name, probably one of my favorite stocks, is British Nandy, Communication Services. I think this is a very good base that I will be really interested in. There are volumes which have been dried up. Supply has been tested multiple times. So that's great. I think that is really, really good. Next up, we've got Ridco Logistics, which is also setting up near its all-time high. So I think this one is also going to be interesting. Suntech Realty reacting from a demand area. So not my favorite one because the range is pretty wide. I think it's a 8-9% range from the low to the high. Yes, it's a 8.5% range. Not really big fan of trading this. Next up, we've got Kanoria Chemicals, another specialty chemical name, which would be interesting to see on how this one plays out. Bajaj Consumer from the consumer space looks extremely promising. I think this one could also come out of this long, wide base and then move towards creating newer highs. So I think this one is also very interesting. I'm not going to miss this. Next up, we've got Lakshmi Chemicals and Organics. Now, again, this is another specialty chemical name coming out of a large base. Would be on my radar. Gillette India reacting from an order block. I think this one could also be one to watch out for. We've seen what FMCG defensive names have done, and I think Gillette India has the potential to do that. Next up, we've got a textile name, which is Phase 3. Now, I've been tracking textile names from a long time, I think for the last 1 week, and I think they're getting ready for a move. So I think Phase 3 is going to be an interesting one. Next up, we've got PFS, which I really like. PTC India Financial Services. I think this is also very, very good. I think probably one of my favorites from this list. Next up, we've got Reliance Chemotex. I think this is also ready to blast tomorrow. I think pretty solid. Another textile name. Thirumalai Chemicals, another specialty chemical name coming out of a large, literally a very huge, humongous base. I think this is also going to be something that you would not want to miss. Just a disclaimer, I am a SEBI registered research analyst with license number INH 0000013925, but any of the stocks that I'm naming is not a recommendation or a research service to you. This is just my personal view. Next up, we've got Pasupati Acrylon, another textile name coming out of a base. I'm really interested in this. Shreyas Logistics, we've been tracking this stock for a long time, and I think today it got rejected from the highs, but all in all, it's a great setup. Next up, we've got RIIL, which is Reliance Industrial Infrastructure Limited, another oil and gas name. Pretty okay base over base setup. Let's see how this one kind of plays out. Next up, we've got Vent India, and this is also setting up really well. This is a larger, priced stock. So let's see on how this one does. E-Mudra is still into that base. We'll have to see on how this one performs. Arrow Granite, just waiting to come out of the base. Another construction material name. Blue Jet, we have been long. It's a disclaimer. We're already long on Blue Jet. Blue Jet has been moving slowly inching higher. And I think tomorrow is probably going to be the day where Blue Jet just explodes 10-12%, maybe 15%. Next up, we've got Midcon, another small cap name, and this is near an order block after a base. I think stock has been a runner, and I think this is just the best place for you to kind of get involved in this one. So I like this one as well. We've got Jikri coming out of a base. We've seen what PSUs have done, so I think this is also an interesting name. Zuari Agro, very good name. I think probably the best agrochemical name from a risk-reward perspective. I think this one is really great. Green Power, another small cap name, is setting up a very critical, crucial, tight little base. I think this one is going to be interesting. I will be looking to take an entry in this one tomorrow. Career Points is another very interesting name. This is not a typical base kind of a setup, but I think the tightness that is creating right now, I think this is going to be an interesting one to watch out for. Mastech from the IT space, coming near moving averages, creating a nice tight base. I think this one is going to be an interesting one. Kirloskar Industries is another one which I'm going to be tracking very closely. And last, we've got Innova CapTab, which is a pharma name. And I think this is also contracting really nicely. So we've got a bunch of stocks. There is lots of action happening left, right, and center. I think it's a stock-specific market, at least until the budget. You will not see a one-directional move in the index. I think stocks is where the action is. So that's it from my research. If you liked the content and the research, do drop in a like and drop a comment and do subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. I wish you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night and see you.